2, 3, 4.
Well, basically what it is I've taught a lot of workshops over the last 15 years. You know, I've been teaching a lot, but I've come to notice that when I teach a workshop, it's totally different than when I build with my students. You know, and when you look at the people that I've trained or taught, they all in the top 10 people on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? So when I decided I wasn't going to do this no more, I wanted to do one more workshop tour, and I always need a concept and a theme for my tour. What I wanted to do was give people the opportunity to see what it's like to just be a student of Alien Ness. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm in the lab with my students, we don't sit in a gym. We don't go to a dance school and stand in front of mirrors and do 8 counts. You know what I'm saying? We sit around, we drink, we smoke, we party. They might ask me a question. I might see them doing something and I'll give them advice or help them develop that move. Or sometimes a lot of them just like to fall back and watch me get drunk and dance in a little corner. You understand what I'm saying? And they just feed off of that. But that connection is the only thing that I've never had in a workshop, that connection between teacher and student. That connection doesn't exist. You got a lot of teachers that will come around and they'll teach choreography or they'll teach what they want to know. And they don't even care or consider whether or not the people that's paying for that workshop already knew that or didn't even want to know that. They came to you for somewhere else. And with Power to the People, it's more like an experience of what it's like to just chill with Alien Ness in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Where we could sit around, where we could talk, where you could show me what you're doing and I could tell you how to get what you're doing, or I could open up your minds to different ways of thinking, or I could answer history questions, or whatever it is. I don't think no instructor has ever done that. So I was like, you know what? Before I leave, I always try to do what everybody else wasn't doing. I was like, before I leave, I'm going to do what no instructor's ever done. And that's just go up in a room, sit down and say, whatever y'all want to learn, I'm going to teach it. I could teach it. I'm capable of teaching it. I'm willing and able to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think no instructor's ever done that. And that's what I really wanted to bring at that time. Because I'll tell you the truth. I've seen a lot of workshops, and I've watched a lot of some of my favorite B-Boys workshops. You know, like I've sat in on like Focus's workshop and Freeze's workshop and Machine's workshop and Paul One's workshop. Like all my favorite B-Boys, I made sure I sat in their workshop. And I learned a lot from a lot of those workshops. But there was a lot of times when I just really wanted to stop and just ask a question. You understand what I mean? And say, or from the beginning of the class, before they even started the class, I came in there with an impression that I had of that instructor from the first time ever. Like, first time I ever went to a Focus workshop, before he even started the workshop, I asked him to teach me a certain backlog. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know that if he was going to cover that in his class or not. So I made sure I took him to the side, like, yo, Focus, there's this thing you do, can you teach it to me? And he taught it to me, you know, and that's really what I wanted to bring to the people, that opportunity where people could just ask for what they want, you know what I'm saying? What I do with my students is I keep it real. I joke around with them. I show them who I really am. I keep it honest with them. I did one workshop, and to be honest, during that workshop, I was mixing drinks. I was drinking Jack Daniel and Red Bull. My students knew I was getting drinking. But they also know that's when I'm at my best. They also know when that's at my most creative. They also know that's when I like to be in my element. So they didn't mind. It's all a matter of, there could always be a connection as long as one party is willing to open up and be totally honest and be totally real and show them the best or the worst. My brother Tyrone, I love you, baby. And show them the best and the worst of who they are. You know what I mean? When you could be that open and that honest with somebody, when you could put artists aside and just be you, and then put yourself out there like an open book, people feel a lot more comfortable. You understand what I mean? A lot of people speak to me like they already know me halfway through the class, like they've known me for years, because I give them so much of me that the connection is there. I don't know. A lot of people are just really have good social skills, and a lot of people don't. By coincidence, I have good social skills. You could drop me anywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be able to mix well with the people. And with students, if I could tell they're hungry, then we're going to have a deeper connection, because that's what I feed off. I don't really feed off of how much we know each other. I feed off of how much I can feed you that I know you really want. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where my connection comes in. Because at the end of the day, a student ain't just somebody who takes a class. A student is somebody who takes a class, looks, listens, learns, carries it on, applies it, manifests it every time they dance, and then go on and teach somebody else and say, well, this is what I learned from Alien Ness. That's a student. Doesn't matter how close we are. As long as they adhere to what you're doing, that's your student. Now that I did Russia and did China, and I'm halfway through UK, and now I'm here in Ireland, now it's like, damn, I want to do this forever. You know what I mean? Like, this is dope. I could do this. But I feel there's other venues that I could do the same thing and at the same time benefit hip-hop in general, not just me and the students. You understand what I mean? I'm trying hard to bring what I do and what a lot of people like me do to a collegiate level. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm inspired by Pop Master Fable. I call him Professor. He is an instructor in NYU, the biggest university in New York City. I feel there should be a lot more people like Fable who are capable of bringing history, dance, movement, the energy behind the movement, the story behind the energy behind the movement. I think we need more people like Pop Master Fable in those areas for the world, not just the dancers, but for the world to get really educated in what it is that we're about. Because at the end of the day, if you look at what I do and what people like me do, because I'm certainly not the only one that teaches not just history and all this. I'm not the only one, but if you look at what I do and what people like me do, it's just basically urban sociology. You understand what I'm saying? Hip hop in general, it's its own subclass. You know what I'm saying, in sociology, because you have sociology, but then when you get into the urban, when you get into the city, when you get into the ghettos, it's a different level of sociology. You understand what I mean? People communicate in different languages. People adapt to different things in their environment. So it's a totally different form of sociology. So yes, it is a subculture. And because it is a subculture, it's to have subculture education. Right now, I'm really myself and my brother Sam Lugo, original Bushwick rocker from the early 70s. We're working on both a school and a foundation. We're working on a foundation for kids, and that'll be all educational, but just not hip-hop educational. But we're also working on some type of community center that could also double as an educational center, because we have a lot of community centers out here, and yeah, they inspire dancers and they give them workshops and classes, and yeah, they get graffiti artists in there and they have art programs and stuff like that, but ain't nobody bringing the business aspect of the game. Ain't nobody bringing the legal aspects of the game. So I would like to have a community center just like this, where students could come and get dance lessons and learn DJing and learn graffiti, and at the same time learn business and contract reading and legal status and how to turn your graffiti art into a clothing company, how to turn your dancing skills into a dance company, you know what I'm saying, and maybe somewhere down the line your own school, you know what I'm saying. I think we need to bring the education up to that level, and that's what we're working on next. And I can't be traveling all over the world and have hands-on, you know what I'm saying, to that. you know. And then aside from hip hop, I live my own life. I have a totally different culture I'm involved with, and I want to give that a little bit more time too. So I want to be able to do one thing part time and then one thing part time that still benefits hip hop. Feel me?
So you see the bigger picture, basically.
It's not the bigger picture. In my case, it's what's next, what's left. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about the bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, in order for the bigger picture to be manifested, all the generations got to come together for the bigger picture to be manifested. Unfortunately, we don't got that. You understand what I mean? You got generations that don't mix with each other. OGs are too busy fighting each other and whatnot. So we ain't gonna have that big picture no time soon. Unfortunately, I'm just keeping it real. In order for us to have that bigger picture, all the generations got to come together. However, there's nothing wrong with somebody picking up the slack and painting one part of the picture. You understand what I mean? And that's all I'm trying to do. Just paint one part of the picture.